So I did speak to my son the other day after we had our session. He must have heard me talking. I was in my room, I had the door closed, and I was talking to you. So he must have heard some of what I was saying. Because later that evening, he came by and asked me if he could talk to me for a few moments. He told me that he had started trying to think about looking for more work. I told him that was a good thing. I listened to what you had said and I tried to encourage him a bit. And I think what you mentioned about going little by little might work. I'm not sure sometimes if he can grasp everything I'm trying to tell him when I tell him everything at once. So I took your advice. I told him that the first thing I wanted him to do was maybe find a purpose for his life beyond gaming. He said that he didn't think gaming was his purpose, but he did want to find something. He still wanted to go towards the degree he had went for. So I told him that maybe he could get someone to help him with the interview. That kind of didn't go over so well. He started to walk away. So I grabbed him by the arm and I said, son, I want to talk to you. I want you to try to find other activities that you can do besides staying down there and gaming day and night. So here he said, what kind of activities? What you're talking about? I don't need to do any other activity. I said, listen. You need to do other things. I said, maybe you can come to work with me and see how my job is. And he said something that really made me mad. He said he would never be a driver like me. I said, I own my own cab. I have 3 other drivers who drive for me. I said, I use that money to put you through college. I use that money to raise you and your sister, to pay for this house we live in, to buy the clothes you have on your back, to buy the gaming computer that you have downstairs. And he understood that, I think. I'm not sure if he meant what he said, but he has to understand that he has to have something else in life besides relying on living his life through some online gaming that someone else creates for you. And it's set up to keep you trapped, to keep you doing it over and over and over and over again. But he cannot see that. He's caught in a vicious cycle, I think. Something like, I don't know what it is. I don't know how they do it. They say something with the gorilla rhythms, alligator rhythms. I don't know, algorithms. I think that's what it's called. I told him, okay, you don't want to come to my type of work. Maybe you can go to some other work. I have friends in businesses who have good businesses, who their children will take over the business once they retire. I had a dream one day that he may do that, or maybe he would get married, have a grandson, and the grandson could take over my company and make it bigger and better. People are always going to need to get from one place to the other, and it's a great job. But no, he doesn't want to do any other type of work. I told him there's got to be something else that you may want to do. So I told him to make a list of some of the things that are interesting for him. And I don't know if he's going to do it. I got him a new pad. I told him, why don't you start journaling? I had heard that somewhere before. Write down your ideas of what you may want to be. They also heard about the thing called the vision board. This man, my son, he's a grown man. And I feel bad that I have to do all of this to try and help him, but I can't just let him rot away like that. I've got to do what I can do. I also talked to him about the possibility of not gaming all the time and just sleeping, to maybe trying to wean himself off the game. He said he tried that before, but it didn't work. He said when the new games come out, he will, if I get it for him, he will try to set himself some boundaries. I said, no. I want you to set boundaries before anything else, before any new game come out. I'm not going to buy you a new game if I don't see you sticking to a schedule of coming out of there and even maybe just helping around the house. You could even come and help me wash the cars or something like that. I want you out of there. And I said, we're going to make a schedule, and I'm going to put you on the schedule. And it's going to be real easy at first, because I want you to do it little by little so that you can see you can do it. You can do it. I don't want to give up on him. I told him he has to learn how to face real life I wanted him to contact some of his old friends from high school because he wasn't always like this. In high school, he was popular, had friends, had girlfriends, played the basketball, played running. He did track and field, I call it. And he was kind of a popular kid, had friends over the house, would go with friends on trips and stuff. But now I kind of think he might be embarrassed about how he has turned out. Embarrassed, but those were not to admit it. That because he could understand that it's not productive, and he can see that. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell him. But I think maybe some of these things like these, finding other activities that he may be interested in. Maybe find some type of job. It doesn't have to be the job that he went to college for. He can find other work. There's other possibilities for work. He can start at a lower level in some type of business just to get used to the idea of getting up and going to work. That's what I told him. I told him again, I said, why don't you just try to do a ride along with me? I even have a friend who works for the PD department, and he said he would take my son on a ride along to see if he might be interested in something in the law enforcement field. My son has a clean record, college degree. He would be a good worker if he could find something that could draw him away from those video games that got a grip on him like a drug in the street. And I don't know what else I can do, but I'm going to keep trying because he is my son and I can't give up on him. My wife, unfortunately, my wife has given up. She will not talk to him. And I have to be the one in between that talks to him to get him to do little things that I can get him to do. Maybe take out the garbage, clean his room, that kind of thing. It's like he's what is that word? Regressing, going backwards in time. Instead of becoming a grown man, he's becoming a young man and down younger than a high school. So I don't know. It's like he has a mind control. I know that sounds crazy, but I think these games might have something in underneath the images, subliminal, that make him have to keep playing, but he can't stop. He can't stop playing. He just thinks about it all the time, gets magazines, reads online gaming, cheat codes, that kind of crap. But I don't want to give up on him, and I will keep trying. I'm going to get more information. I know you're giving me a lot of information to read, and I appreciate it, Doctor. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to try other things. I need to find a way to get him to maybe go to work part-time. That might be the solution. Doesn't have to be a full days of work. Maybe he can go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. I'm going to try to approach him maybe this evening with that, and I will report back to you. I appreciate your help and the fast feedback you give me, and I look forward to our next session. Thank you, Doctor.